YouTube, man, what's going on? It's LNH back with another vid, man. And today, again, we got something super interesting. Mikey Williams and Bronny James may actually be leaving their respective high schools along with some other top recruits because, man, a new option has opened. And this, I gotta say, I never would have thought something like this would happen. But let's break it down, get right into it. And also, we'll be talking about Emoni Bates as well at Memphis. But let's get into it, man. If you do like these type of vids, like the vid, sub the channel. But let's get right into it. Now, you guys know the forefront of high school basketball, in my opinion, is people like Bronny James and Mikey Williams. Of course, Bronny, son of LeBron, really has a ton of clout, ton of popularity, millions of followers on Instagram. He's part of FaZe, does his gaming Twitch thing, and a lot of people watch to see his moves. Now, we have somebody like Bronny James and Mikey Williams on the other hand, and these two guys have taken different paths. Of course, Bronny James has stayed at Sierra Canyon, a school in California where they have a pretty good track record of being one of the best schools in the country, doing their thing and producing really solid Division I players, and a lot of those players end up going to play in the NBA. And then you have Mikey Williams. Of course, he actually played in California, in San Diego previously, but the competition and where he was playing wasn't the best. Decided to go to Charlotte over and play with Lake Norman Christian, and then eventually go to their prep school, which is Vertical Prep, where he's at now. And of course, he was teaming up with Trey, the other dude who was going crazy, Trey Parker, and them two guys are super talented. But some new news has just dropped, and it's honestly, in my opinion, another route I think people will be going to instead of some of the other schools, more popular schools that we do know, the Montverdes, the IMG Academies, all these other places, man. A new option is just open, and I think a lot of people are going to maybe consider going here. Now, sources are actually stating that Kanye West will open up a prep school called Donda Academy in California. And you guys know, like I said, there are a ton of talented players in California, but Kanye, of all people, is actually opening up a prep school. I think, of course, this is going to attract some attention. Now, number one, if you're a high school player and think about it, maybe you don't have enough eyes on you, maybe people are not realizing what you're doing on the court. What do? You go to a program that has a lot of eyes, a lot of people watching, and you perform. And if you perform well at that placement, you're going to get put on. You're probably going to be able to get ranked, maybe even get some college offers because of that attention. And especially, of course, you have to perform when the lights are on. But in this case, people like Bronny James or even somebody like Mikey Williams may actually end up going to one of these schools low key. And the reason I say that is because, of course, man, Mikey Williams seems like he's not afraid to go to different places. We saw him in San Diego and California, and I think the biggest criticism about his game was he wasn't playing any competition, and everyone knew that. And I even said this dude looked like he was playing against JV players at the time. But what happened? Mikey had listened to that criticism. He knew that if he goes and plays against stronger competition, he can get a lot better, and decided to do what? Of course, he decided to go and play in Charlotte, North Carolina, where he was playing against a much better competition, and you had a lot of guys who could really do their thing on the court in Charlotte. Let's be honest here. But after that, of course, we really didn't hear those type of complaints. He was playing AU as well. But I think this can be another place for Mikey Williams to really show and be that front of the game, that forefront of the game. Now, I got to be honest, he probably does like playing with Trey Parker as well, which is another hooper on his team that is super solid. That man is a bucket and honestly may even have a better scoring ability than Mikey Williams. But in this case, in terms of development, who knows about this school? And especially being backed by Kanye, you're going to have a ton of dollars behind you. Now, we've seen Mikey Williams do things like, of course, he did a collab with OVO. He's signing a new sneaker deal with Puma currently, has his own TV show, has all these other things. He seems like he's not afraid to try new things, and that's why I think we are going to see some of these top recruits go to this prep school. Again, we see people go different routes nowadays with the NIL, name, image, likeness rule in effect. People can make money off of their name, and that's why we see people like Mikey Williams signing these types of deals, and a lot of other people where these guys are probably going to be somewhat millionaires before they even graduate. And then, of course, Bronny James. Now, this is a controversial take for sure, but Bronny James may want to go here. Now, the reason I say this is because, of course, we know at Sierra Canyon, where Bronny James is currently at, the competition level is crazy, and especially on his team, the level of talent they have, in my opinion, it's going to be hard somewhat for Bronny James to shine on that team. We've talked about it over and over again. Amari Bailey is going to be a senior while Bronny's going to be a junior. Jr. And then, of course, they have a ton of other guards on the team that sometimes can overshadow Bronny James. We know how it goes. A lot of times if Bronny isn't super aggressive or not taking things into his own hands, he can get overlooked on the basketball court, especially offensive wise. And in this case, that may happen since he's continuing to have other people be on this Sierra Canyon team who are super talented. Now, of course, he doesn't need any more eyes on him. Everyone is going to tune in to wherever he goes. But if somebody like Kanye was able to recruit Bronny James to this school, really a fresh start to go play somewhere else, I think it could be super interesting to see how many other people would fall in line. You have to think about it, even like the overtime league or even something like the G League. Once you get popular players to go to an alternative place, an alternative route, it only attracts other people and you'll start stacking the development and the type of players that you want to see at these prep schools. And especially the school being in California, of course, where Mikey's from and where Bronny is at now, I think that would be a solid move for them to even go play up and maybe team up. Maybe we'll see these dudes team up again. But man, I definitely see a lot of hoopers in the future going to this brand new school. But you guys let me know, what do you think about this school, man? Kanye is actually running it, which is wild. But you guys let me know, who do you think is pulling up for sure? Man, let me know in the comments down below. Now, on the other hand, man, let's talk about Emoni Bates. Haven't talked about this dude in a minute, but Emoni Bates, of course, is attending Memphis, and you guys know he's teaming up with Jalen Durham, which is another hooper, and of course, man, that team is looking stacked. Now, let's take a look at some of the footage here. Now, if you guys see here, in my opinion, these dudes are looking super smooth on the court. They look like they've been playing college basketball for a minute now, no problem. And when you're the number 1 and 2 players in the country, man, I just see these dudes dominating at the next level. They seem so comfortable to be playing with each other, dunking the ball, throwing alley-oops, and I really think that just shows the level of talent that we're talking here. Now, this team for sure is going to be stacked, and I think that these dudes have prepared so well. But man, somebody like Emoni Bates even teaming up with the number 2 player and number 1 players really teaming up is wild to me. Now, Emoni, of course, gets that comparison with his jump shot, with his ball handling, and for sure he's pretty young of a player. Now, it's really unclear, but most people think as of right now that Emoni Bates may actually have to stay in college for 2 years. But regardless of that, this dude is probably going to be in the NBA, and he looks like he's already playing super well in these practice that they did have. Now, I think the combination of his ball handling, his jump shot, man, all these things that really come together, his height, of course, really make him a super solid guard that I think can be very successful at the next level. You see people like Jason Tatum, of course, KD. You see a ton of these guys who have height but can also be guards at the same time, really help you to make and solidify your game at the next level. And I see Emoni having no problem with that. And I won't be surprised if this dude signs some type of deal even farther than what he already has signed. Now, he actually did sign with Roc Nation, which of course is owned by Jay-Z. But man, I see these deals coming more and more as he gets his name out there and people really start to see him actually play on the collegiate level. You guys let me know again, what do you think about Emoni Bates and Jalen Durham on the same team? They're doing their thing, look very solid for sure. These dudes are going to kill, and I'm definitely going to be tuning in to their games. And also, what do you think about Kanye's new school? Man, Mikey and Bronny maybe potentially going there. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like this vid, sub to the channel, turn on post notifications, get a notification every time I upload a new video, and make sure you leave any video suggestions you do have in the comments down below. Again, I'm always taking a look at those. Appreciate each and every one of you. LNH, I'm out.